No, it says we're,
Pass it over to you
okay.
after I try it.
Did you
It
click
did-
on the,
It did work, I think, or maybe it didn't. Hold on.
did you, how do I even get out of this thing telling me I'm offline?
Do you have a Wi-Fi icon?
Oh, that one? Okay, gotcha.
Windows or?
Yeah, the usual way. Not connected. Let's try. We don't want Bluetooth.
We all have our little tech moment here.
It's really weird.
I guess I'm connected.
There we go. Now all of a sudden I'm in there.
It worked, okay.
Weird. Weird.
There we go.
F-150 in the back of the slide time.
Wait, F-150. Wait, oh, no, I have a Chevy Silverado. now. Hang on.
Supposed to be the combination.
I don't know what demolition and
There you go.
Thank you.
Did anybody else need this? Mine's connected.
I think I might be connected. Let me see it. It's a very weird look of it, though.
So it was, that's what I thought. Right?
Yeah, I just,
Is it the app?
that worked, yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, that's a change.
Let's
New
see.
improved.
It isn't the right page here, but let me see if I can get in there.
All right, ready when you guys are.
but that was nice to be.
Okay, now I'm getting somewhere. Let's see. I think I'm on. Let's see. Yep, looks like it. Not getting in.
Ready?
No,
I don't, if you want to wait till I'm on, but I don't really.
have you made the agenda?
I don't really need to be, I can do that as we go. You can let me in when I figure out where I'm at.
Right, okay.
I have to. Well, I have the one that I printed earlier, put it that way.
I'm really glad we're doing that 1.5.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the two public hearings, the first of which is on the budget. Is there anyone here who would like to comment on the budget? Marnie?
I just want to go on record saying how much I appreciate all of the time and effort you have putting together a budget that both responds to the needs of the community, particularly its youth, and us older residents who also need to be mindful of our fixed incomes. So thank you very much. I think you've done a fine balancing job.
Thanks.
Thanks. We're out there in Zoom land. Okay, seeing none, let's close that public hearing and move to
I
the
believe my
second.
hand is raised, Joel.
I believe Ted has his hand raised.
You know what, it's because I got this bar.
There it is.
Fury.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Actually, go ahead, Ted.
Sure. I reviewed the budget online. I'd like to note that there are references in the online budget to Appendix A and B, but A and B are not present. I'd also like to repeat something that I've said in the past. Yeah, you managed to stay under the tax cap, I believe. But really, you should be aiming for 0 increase in the budget or a reduction in the budget. We are paying an awful lot of taxes. And in fact, if you look at what you can see of the budget, no one, I think, will ever fault you for non-discretionary spending, whatever that might be, cost of employees, cost of maintaining the roads, etc. However, you've got an awful lot of discretionary spending in there, which is not, shall we say, which is not cut to the bone. So you're going to pass the budget. It's not a bad budget, but it could be better. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else with comment? No.
This meeting is being recorded.
it said I was unmuted, but apparently I wasn't.
Yeah.
Now I am.
Okay, if there are no other comments, we'll close that public hearing and go to the second public hearing, which is on the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG for the multi-family grant. We have had multiple CDBG grants. This hearing is on the multi-family one. For those who were interested, Ability Event has prepared a really nice report
Oh,
of the work that was done. And it's linked to the agenda for anyone who wants to take a look at it. Has everybody signed in for that public hearing?
Yes.
You may want to take a note, Mariah, who's present on Zoom. Because they aren't here to sign the sheet. So this is the second, we have two public hearings, one at the beginning, and then this one is the second one when we're at like 2/3 of the money been spent or more. And that's this one. And the purpose of it is to solicit public comment on the effectiveness of the administration of the program, to provide information on the activities and progress toward the goals, to obtain people's views on the program, and to respond to public proposals, if any, for future investments of this kind. And Marnie has a comment.
Again, I don't know precisely what CSBG grant, I just know I have a neighbor who was in desperate need of assistance because of her financial situation and her age, and this grant program came to her rescue, and she's very, very appreciative. And so I'm not sure if this is her home, because I don't think it's multifamily, although it is multi-generational. She does have other folks living in the home with her. But this is very important to our community, and making our community affordable and inclusive. So I appreciate everyone's efforts in this.
Thank you.
And I'm sure Ted will have some negative comment to follow up with.
No, there. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment?
No.
I got my note that there's a handout that's available.
Ted's hand is.
Ted's
If
hand
you
is.
want to contact Toma, that has the data on the program's accomplishments. And go ahead, Shed.
I do know what CDBG is, and I do think it's a great idea. And I do think that the town board should reprimand people who use this moment as a chance to say bad things about other people. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, let's close that public hearing. Which brings us to additions and deletions to the agenda. Catherine.
I would like us to talk a little bit about when we might hear something from Steve on the request that we made, being South Hill Cider, Steve Sealand, to do the request of Ag and Markets, and what we might do if that apparently hasn't happened.
Okay.
I'd like to have that discussion.
All right. Put that at the end of business, or?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else to add or delete? Over to the floor. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board on any subject? Yeah. Mark.
Yeah, thanks. How did
planned on saying anything, but something occurred to me. I just wanted to share that I feel really concerned about Danby residents who are on SNAP and what sort of like, I feel really worried about sort of the state of the community and people who are, well, that's surprising. And people who are dependent on SNAP and what they might be going through. I know the county released an emergency fund, but I don't actually know like how that fund makes its way into people's pantries. I don't know if that has to, if like the town has any role to play in that, or if it goes from the county straight to the food banks. But I guess I just wanted to say like, that is, there are people in our community who are in a state of emergency if the checks don't show up or the money doesn't come into the account. And I don't know what the role is. I had a interesting conversation with a neighbor who's involved in the Danby Resiliency Group about like, what is the role of government in emergency? And I feel like this is an emergency for some people. And I just wonder, it's kind of an open question, but I wonder what the role of the town can be in making sure that the people who live here are not going hungry because they don't know how to access things that they didn't need before. You know, some people know where the food banks are and other people don't. Some people know that SNAP is about to end or may have a gap or whatever it is. And some people might not be following that news and might not know until they are in the grocery store and they swipe the card. So if there's a somehow a role that the town of Danby can play in, you know, meeting those needs, I think it should be discussed. And I would just, you know, guess I'm just raising that as should be a priority for the town.
Can we have a discussion
Thanks.
added to the agenda just so we have a chance to talk about it, or is
I
it too
think that
late?
would be a cool thing to talk about for a minute at some point.
You want to add it to the business, or you want to talk about it now?
No, now I'm pretty to the floor. We need to get everybody.
Yeah, we're not done with privilege of the floor.
True, and we have sometimes used privilege of the floor for a discussion with people, but if you want to have.
We might be able to go a little longer if we don't do it at privilege of the floor. We could all have a good deal of input if we wait till business.
Put it at the end?
Because otherwise we might just kind of glance off it, you know?
Mhm.
Because I think we all probably agree, and we would maybe say we all agree and then we move on. I'd rather talk about it. That'd be great.
Okay, let's put it on you.
Next.
Anyone else have a comment?
There's two up there.
Okay, I'm not sure who went first. Rhonda, you're on the left. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say in response to the previous comment that I think if you really are interested in people who are, let's say, low income, then you ought to be coming to the Danby Food Pantry on the third Thursday of the month at the Danby Church, and it opens at 4 o'clock. But if you come around 3 or 3:30 while people are standing around waiting, you can talk to them. And if you ask permission of the people at the church who put on the event, you might be able to use a table to sit and produce brochures or just talk to people privately. But that's where you really see the people in Danby who are in need and start to learn who they are and what kinds of needs they really have. And some of them are very serious, I would say.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for that input, Rhonda.
Ted,
Hi, couple things. Of course, everyone in this room is sure to be knowing that tomorrow is election day, and if you haven't voted already or during early voting, you should. We hope to see you at the polling place. Second, this question, no, let me do another second. I'm still hoping to hear reports on what progress the town is making on enforcement action with respect to litter and garbage in yards and such things. I've been asking this for several meetings. Now, I was reading an interesting article about NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and how municipal officials sometimes find themselves signing those things. Others find that they are bound by NDAs that were signed by previous public officials. And I wonder if you could discuss or talk about whether you have any such NDAs in effect right now, having to do with, for example, solar farm development or a wind farm development, which I see is on the agenda for later today. Have you been asked to sign any NDAs, and have you signed them? And of course, if you have signed them, you probably can't talk much about them, but I think the public should know these things. And you also have an item on the agenda about the 1840 next door to Town Hall. And during the last meeting, there was an executive session. At the end of that session, a rather opaque resolution was passed saying that you agreed to offer to buy the property for its assessed value. Or not assessed, what was the right word?
Appraised.
Appraised value. And when I asked what that value was, I got two answers. 50,000 and what was it, 26,000? That's a pretty big difference, and it made me think about what's going on here. You are talking about, I had always assumed that the town would simply either have the guy demolish it himself, or you would do the demolishing and basically put the bill for that on his taxes, which means that the town might be out the amount of the demolishment until either he paid it, or if he didn't pay it, that eventually it would go for a tax auction and you would be able to recover the money then, which means you'd be out, if the material distributed with the agenda tonight, you'd be out somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000. Now it appears you want to buy the property, which will cost you $25,000 to $30,000. I believe the latest demand from the owner was 28. And then you'd be on the hook for demolishing it, which is where I think that $50,000 figure came from. I think that's pretty foolish on the part of the town, because you can acquire it for back taxes plus the cost of demolishing once the person doesn't pay for it. Either way, you'd win, and you wouldn't actually have to buy it. Why the owner does not want to sell it to you, I do not know, but that's his choice. I just say you shouldn't be spending twice what you need to spend, and either way, you just want to get that thing demolished, which is probably a good thing. So there's an opinion for you. I would love to hear a discussion for it, an explanation for why you're choosing to spend much more money than you need to. Thanks.
So, on the agenda, stay tuned.
Thank you.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Jack?
I wrote all of you already about this, but I support actually buying the property next door, and I think it would be great investment for something in the town's future.
Thanks. We good? Okay. I don't believe there's any correspondence to report.
Nope.
And does anyone have any apart from Ted's announcement, tomorrow's election day? Are there any other announcements? Oh, it's pancake breakfast next Saturday at
Was this Saturday?
Danby Fire Hall. On the following week at Danby Fire Hall.
Which one, west or up here?
West Danby
West
is
Danby.
next Saturday. The following week is at the Danby Fire Hall.
It's good they're not on the same Saturday.
I know, it's good. Well, one
Monday,
was on Saturday, the other was on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
But they're
same weekend.
They're a week apart.
That's good.
Minutes.
I move that we approve the October 20th.
2025 meeting minutes.
I second that. Any additional things to change? Are they good to go? Okay, Mariah,
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We have in writing the report from the town clerk and also from the from the code officer. And you'll notice that you will see that Steve has reported on his enforcement activity. Such as it is. At my request. Supervisor's report includes the statement of account and the fact that we need to do a budget transfer. And there's a resolution for that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Move it.
I move we transfer $400 from account 1420.4 to 1410.480.
Second that.
And for those who don't know what the numbers mean, that's from what to what?
From the attorney contractual to legal ads.
Any discussion? Mariah,
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
yes,
Thank you.
for the warrant.
I'll move the general fund. Abstract 21 vouchers 410 through 430 for $6,722.73.
Second,
It's gonna be so fast.
any discussion? Mariah,
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
yes,
Thank you.
I'll move the highway fund, abstract 21, vouchers 206 to 217 for $23,577.92.
it was 206 and not 214.
Hmm?
It's 206.
206 to 217.
I got 214, but
Yeah.
You have 214?
it's 206.
Second,
What?
the agenda is incorrect.
There we
Oh,
go.
I'm not looking at the agenda.
No, that's good to have it.
206 to 217.
Yeah, it's.
Been
What I
moved
said.
and Moved and seconded. It is what you said. In fact, I asked about it because it's 214 on the agenda.
It's 2 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, he's saying that on the agenda, it says the wrong
Oh.
thing.
it's got the wrong number.
Gotcha.
Okay, ready? Right,
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
yes,
Thank you.
I move the West Danby Water District abstract 21, vouchers 82 through 85 for $1,119.
Second,
comments and clarity needed, we could.
Hmm?
Ready?
Mhm.
Okay, right,
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
yes.
Gagnon.
yes,
Excellent.
thank you. I move we adopt the budget for 2026, preliminary budget.
Second,
Any discussion?
I want to thank Laura for all the work that she does to help us get ready for that.
My pleasure. It's all you guys.
We'll do it again next week. No, I didn't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I will comment that it was a very smooth process this year.
Yeah.
And I think we ended up in a good place.
Yeah.
Okay, Mariah,
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes,
Stein,
Same.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Canyon.
yes.
And it's always great working with you guys on that process every year. It's great. As an employee, I have to say that. You guys are great to work with. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
The timber harvest law is now adjusted to reflect the addition or the switch from the highway superintendent being the issuing person to the planner being the issuing person, and adding the times of operation as suggested by Catherine Winston. I move that we adopt that local law.
The timber harvest law?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're gonna move it. Okay, I'll second it.
Did Mariah, did you prepare a formal resolution, or should we just?
No.
I have a resolution that you're gonna, it's not approved. I have approved here the timber harvest law as amended.
Yeah, well, we should adopt as amended.
Adopt, thank you. It's local law number 6.
6.
Any discussion before we vote?
Yeah, just, I picayune thing, you can tell me to go away.
It's officially.
Line-
the other one.
Line 7, where the times of day,
Mhm.
I mean, I would feel better if it said something like hours of operation or activity. I mean, times of day, the first thing that eliminates night, it's kind of picky, but hours of operation,
Hours of operation.
it means the same thing,
Yeah.
but
And I don't think that the law specifically says the exact words that have to be on the form, really. I mean,
Well, it
like,
does.
does it
Well,
spell
it
out
doesn't.
exactly the words that need to be, because we
Well,
could adopt it like this and still put what you're saying on the form, and it would be the spirit of the law. It's the same thing.
but there's no reason
Well-
you can't make that modification.
Yeah, I mean, if we can make that modification and
Yeah.
still pass the law,
Yes, we can.
I'd hate to have to come back in 2 weeks and do this
No.
again.
Well, no, the reason we.
well, I
can do-
think it should be on the
Right,
form.
right. Well, the reason that we can vote on this now is that I asked tonight whether the changes that we're making were substantive, and he said no.
No,
And not in his judgment,
Right.
so that we can, based on the public hearing that we had, we can make these minor tweaks without changing the
right.
substance of it. These are insubstantial alterations,
I mean, it was just that and the responsibility,
right?
who to point their fingers
Mm-hmm.
at, yeah.
Right. So who made the motion?
You.
Didn't you?
I think
Okay.
it was you.
I think you did,
So
because I think I seconded it.
I'm
Yes.
willing to modify the motion to amend the language to be hours of operation. And I presume that the seconder who was,
And
is it you?
CAC worked a lot on this, I know. I mean, it's
That's
been
like 7 years.
I mean, it looks really different than when it first
It
started.
sure does.
And I mean, as far as
Such a
I'm
gift.
concerned, this is the way it should, it's simplified down to essentials and got rid of the,
It's the kernel. of the-
Problems. Yeah.
Ready? Okay, Mariah.
Connors,
yes.
Hunter,
yes,
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Canyon.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, 1840 Danby Road. I think you saw the communication, the
no.
property status statement.
Isn't there, yes, what do you call that stuff? It's.
Confetti.
Yeah, confetti.
Yeah, right.
Confetti or whistling or
Yeah,
anything.
but,
Okay.
where we left off was that the board authorized me to offer the appraised value, which was $26,000. And the the seller, wanted more money. So we've been back and forth and back and forth, and it came down to, he's willing to commit to selling it to us for 28,000. And if that's agreeable, then the board can authorize me to go ahead and make the purchase. The other part of it is the demolitions. And I spoke with Bintu this afternoon. She sort of related to him. I think it's in our interest to want the house gone sooner than later. And he's poised to do it. But I don't want to delay its demolition by waiting until after the closing, which would be like a month and a half. You know, it takes a while, and it's already November. So I think that we should either he commits to doing it in the next couple of days, getting the demolition permit and signing the contract and showing us the signed contract that it's underway. Or we will do it, same deal, same contractor, same price. You know, we're both focusing on the same contract with Contendo. So that's what I would propose. A little bit complicated, that we purchase the property and that we order the building removed, either by him or by us. Do we have a second for that?
Well, I'm curious to address.
Second, it just so I
Ted's
can talk
first.
about.
Okay, so now you can put the second.
Yeah, okay.
Got it. Sorry. So just to address Ted's question of, you know, the two prices, the price of purchasing, the price of demolishing.
Yeah, it's additive, you know, whether he does it or we do it, it's gonna add about $30,000 to the total price of acquisition. So you end up with, 28 plus 30.
Yeah.
And either way, you know, I mean, if it's a lien on the property, he's gonna want to get it if we were to buy it subsequently, just means we wouldn't buy it right away. We could, I actually asked the possibility of doing a right of first refusal if we think that there's no way he's gonna get that much for it. But no real indication there. So, I don't think, well, I mean, you'd be playing a game really to say, we think we can get it cheaper if you, if we go ahead and get it demolished and then it's a lien against you and you're not gonna be able to get that much, you have to sell it to us for less. That's a gamble. If you think 28 is a reasonable price for it, and I asked Colleen Foley, who's a realtor, what she thought of the appraised value. And her initial reaction was it seemed high to her.
Yeah.
But then when she said, oh, you know, she asked to review the appraisal, and I sent it to her, and she looked at it and said, you know, this firm does, even though they're not from Tompkins County, they do a lot of Tompkins County business, and they're usually pretty good. So the upshot of that was that the appraisal is close to reasonable. She also told me that there's not a lot of properties that sell for less than $50,000 as
Right.
building lots.
So to what extent have we taken into consideration all of this Japanese knotweed on this property and that property?
Not at all.
Right, I imagine that they didn't count that in any kind of appraisal because they just assume that has no negative value for some reason, but I mean, obviously it's a pretty serious infestation.
Yeah, but it's all the way up and down the creek.
Right, and there's basically nothing you could do about it because if you remove it, it's just gonna come down.
You could start somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
You can
It'd
inject.
be nice to
each
start
top.
somewhere.
I mean, we could get rid of it, but
It's a
it would
great
just come back
pollinator.
because of the way that stream is.
If it's
I almost forgot.
upstream, it tends to go downstream from wherever it is.
Right.
It is a great pollinator crop. Makes good honey. It's not a good stream bank holder though.
No.
unfortunately.
It certainly doesn't balance out as a,
As
as a neutral or beneficial plan to have around.
No, it's not, but it's awfully hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I guess I don't really know, you know, I wouldn't say that we shouldn't go through with it just because there's a bunch of knotweed there, but I do wonder if we have any kind of thoughts about if that is a problem for future development of that site, or
I've never seen
we
any,
wanted to do anything.
yeah, it being a contingency in any place. Greg?
Well, it's not, maybe it might not be so much as the knotweed, but it is, half the property is in floodplain, designated floodplain.
Which is related, it's like, you know,
Right.
if it's in a
Right.
floodplain next to knotweed, it's gonna be knotweed.
Yeah,
But just bringing that aspect up, that I think, you know, knotweed people might clear, but floodplain is still like a regulated area that would have to meet. It's not impossible to build there, but it
it could
does,
be raised.
but it does create challenges.
Any construction would have to be raised up the flood level on that part of the property, which is comes to within 40 feet of the house,
So what's the benefit to the town
of having this property.
on having this property? I mean, I'm not having a problem with the 28,000. But you're at, you know, we'd be adding another 30.
Yeah, no, we're talking, yeah.
Is it beneficial in the long run? I mean, we could, you know, wait for the tax, you know, the foreclosure, but
Well, assuming
If
everything
he
defaults on
doesn't-
the,
he's
doesn't,
been paying taxes, right?
right,
I mean, that's, so that's probably not gonna
That's
happen.
probably not, yeah.
And even if it did, there's no guarantee
no,
that you don't get outbid, so,
no, I mean, you could point to the fact that the market's softening. There's a lot more houses going on the market now than there was even 2 months ago. I'm told that Susan Lustig has a program on Saturday mornings where she talks about real estate. She did a snapshot of where we are, talking to Brett Katzman, who's is their statistician with Audrey Edelman. And that the market is turning, as they put it, at this point. Not quite sure where it's going, but you know, there are a lot more willing sellers. The prices haven't come down a whole lot, but what's come down is the asking prices are down, particularly on higher end properties. And there's no longer a bidding war to
No.
acquire. And houses are sitting longer on the market because there are more willing sellers, but there are not a lot more willing buyers due to, in part to, uncertainty. You know, with what federal government actions and how that impacts Cornell in particular. And also, well, I mean, just the uncertainty, economic uncertainty is kind of weighs on people are a lot of them have mortgages that they got at 2 or 3%. And for them to change to something else, it means acquiring a mortgage at 6+%. And that's keeping people from wanting to sell what they've got to buy something else. So
I mean, there's an order for that building to be demolished
yeah, well,
by the current owner. Right, it went to the current owner.
right.
Is there a way, would it be at all feasible to, I mean, he should have spent that money demolishing the house already.
Yeah, I mean, the only
And
reason.
he hasn't.
Right, well,
So-
the reason he hasn't is because we've been negotiating a potential sale.
Well, we can negotiate potential sale. There's still an order for him to demolish the house.
Yes. But we
Um,
didn't, but the reason we didn't lean on him to do it, which is to say, order it demolished ourselves, was because we were in this process. For better or for worse, that's where we are. But at this point, I've told him, or indirectly, that we're not willing to wait any longer to have the house removed. Either he does it or we'll do it, but that doesn't really bear on whether we're willing to buy it for 28 plus the cost.
What about
of
splitting
demolition.
the cost of the demolition?
Why would you want to do that?
Just to bring the price down, just to bring it down.
Yeah,
I
Well,
think
well, I'm just,
you said, why would he be willing to do it?
I don't know.
Is that what you asked?
yeah.
Yeah.
You were asking why he would want to do it?
Oh, I thought, I did,
Yeah, why would he want to do that? I mean, you know,
Right.
I think it's fair. And sort of into that, you know, whoever does it, you know, that's built into the price of acquiring the property one way or the other.
My understanding is what you were saying was that whether we do the demolition or he does, the cost to the town would be the same?
In effect, because.
Yeah, because he'll raise the price.
Well, because it's, well, assuming that the price gets paid by the town ultimately. So I mean, if he tears it down, it's gonna cost him about $30,000, 29 plus, you know, air monitoring. We agree to buy it for 28 plus that cost. If we don't agree to buy it for 28 plus that cost, I mean, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right.
Then, and alternatively, we tear it down. And then it's a cost to us, and then we can pay him the 28. But then we've got the cost and it's our cost, so it's the same either way.
And if we tear it down, why wouldn't we pass that cost along to him?
Well, we would, I mean, we could, but I mean, it would be passed along to him. And then he would
he'd be
want that.
giving us money to.
He'd want that, yes, exactly, he'd want that money back at sale, so I mean, in effect, it doesn't matter whether we do it or he does it, it's the same amount of money. And it's gonna be part of the cost of acquiring it if we want it at this point for $28,000.
Is there any way the town could demolish the house for less than this?
Not, well, the thought, you recall, was, you know, could Keith maybe do it? Steve is saying that it have to be a licensed, you know, asbestos removal outfit in order to do it. You gotta be licensed and certified. So we're not, we can't. So we pretty much have to use one of these contractors to do it anyway. You know, whether he does it or we do it, we're both looking at the same people to do it. And we've got at this point four or five, the lowest of which is 29 plus air monitoring. So that's another $1,500 or so to do it, whether they do it or we do it. The low for them is the same one, you know.
One of the things that I think is sort of important for town information is this sort of what I feel is going to come up when I want to bring the other subject up. But these things are because the town board is really actually trying to look after the people in Danby. And we've had many, many requests about getting rid of junk and doing something about these buildings that have holes in them and are going to fall to the ground. And we already have two very close that are in that process and one that's going to go there. And this, unfortunately, is the cost of it. It's borne by somebody, and unless as the CBDG grants are a little bit of help for, this is going to keep happening. And it is, there does not seem to be a good way to get around this, because the cost of demolishing involves safety of the people who do it. And we are, you know, when we ask somebody to do something like this, we also have to consider the safety, environmental safety, and the safety of the people who are doing it. It's a real unfortunate thing that this is happening, but the reality is, it is. And the idea, talking when we just briefly touched on the cost of housing, the words you said, where the high-end housing is where some of that, the prices are being reduced because people can't, a lot of people are, you mentioned the word uncertain. There's plenty of uncertainty right now, all around the place. And we've been talking about trying to do things about low income, trying to do affordable housing. trying to do affordable housing. I just got a request for money from INHS in the mail today. So this is a big problem and it's not gonna go away. So however we face it, it's important information for the town to consider. Yes, it's a lot of money, but and we can, the idea of being able to use that property as part of the, because it's joined, it's connected to the town hall property. There's a lot of potential. Plus, if the floodplain issue is there, we know how to deal with that rather than somebody who moves in it and tries to put a house and is stuck putting a house, like a small house close to the road that, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think it's a good place to have an example of what the town can do for us in general.
I'd like to draw a distinction between this property and all the other junk properties, because we don't have any interest in buying any of those other properties. Because we're not just buying houses that are falling apart. This one just happens to be right next door.
Right.
So if we were gonna order other houses to be demolished, I have to imagine that we would make them pay for that, or we would try. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, if you're ordering a house demolished, there's a chance that they're just not gonna pay.
Right, there's a good
But-
chance.
Which is what has happened in,
Yeah.
in several instances, Zach.
I just wanted to say about, like, I recently learned that houses that are ordered to be demolished, if the homeowner does not pay, it is not just a fine that sits there until a certain point. As soon as it happens, it can actually be a lien that's placed. And
Right.
I think
Yeah.
10% of your monthly wages can be garnished. So. It could turn into a much more drawn out thing if.
I mean, like, yeah, that being said, like, I'd obviously want to be careful about, destroying people's lives over their, finances having fallen apart 5 years ago or something. But some absentee property owner who's just like letting their crap rot in Danby can pay for the demolition.
Which is really the case. It's usually some situation, there's a bank foreclosure, it takes them forever to get around to doing anything. Meanwhile, the building deteriorates and it becomes a tear down. Or it's a family thing and they can't agree on what to do, and meanwhile it sits there and it goes to, they get problems. Or it's somebody who's really poor, can't fix it up, can't afford to move out, and then they ride it into the ground. There's a variety of reasons why these places end up that way.
I think those are significant too. That matters to me. I mean,
Yeah.
why the house is like that, and who is
Who's impacted and how.
right, who's impacted. Somebody might be living in that house, or somebody might wish they were living in that house but can't anymore, or something.
Right. Well, I mean, you can wish all they want for this one, it's too far gone, but.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I haven't like. this
Since you
person-
opened the discussion to the public, may I detail the third possibility that you've glossed over?
If he's recognized. right?
Yeah,
I would
sure,
like
go
to-
ahead.
Jesus.
Okay, you described the possibility of acquiring the property at auction as being a gamble, and I agree with you, it is a gamble, but let's take a look at the circumstances of the gamble.
You have to not pay taxes.
I mean, he has to let it go and not pay the
He's
taxes.
paying taxes.
Yeah, let me detail this circumstances.
Oh,
The minimum price, I looked into this sort of thing also. The minimum price, the low bid acceptable will be your lien against it for the demolition plus unpaid taxes, which the taxes on that place are not much. So you're talking in the nature of $30,000. You
Why would you want to
are,
recover his purchase price?
let me finish, Joel. You are talking about spending an additional close to $30,000 to purchase it. So that means that the upper limit on your bid to purchase that at auction, should it get to that point, is about $60,000. Now look at this from the point of view of anyone else who would want it. Is a fraction of an acre, which has water, in short. Is that worth $60,000 to anybody? You couldn't, my humble opinion is you couldn't possibly find someone who wants to do that unless they've got enough money to erect a really nice house on it. In other words, it's not much of a gamble. You will be, if your stated purpose here is to get rid of a dangerous eyesore. If you wanted to add to that you think it'd be nice to add the property to town hall, what you're proposing to spend is way more than it's worth to anyone else. You'll be able to get it for less. Maybe no more than just the cost of the demolition and the back taxes. A lot cheaper that way.
In fact, that's the case. Ted?
I'm just gonna, sorry. That's actually, the cost of the demolition
Mhm.
wouldn't roll into the cost, the starting cost on a property. I mean, some of you know, I just bought the old Benjamin's One Stop, which had a $160,000 fine on it from demolition, back taxes, all of that.
Mhm.
I believe we paid, I'm gonna be wrong, I think around $28 of that 160,000, because you only have to pay the past year's taxes. That being said, the value in this property and seeing how much things are going for, my next door neighbor just sold a property that is, I believe, less than 1/10 of an acre larger than this, fully wooded, has never been built on, for $35,000. And it does not have the commercial potential that this one has. It also is not located directly next to town hall, where I realize this is not everyone's favorite thing. I know that. But the potential of having a community center there that could be supported by daycare, that could potentially have an expanded library. I mean, I am sorry, this is a slight tangent, but I've done a little bit of traveling. I was in Nova Scotia years ago. There was a community center far north Nova Scotia, a town called Meat Cove. And they had a small fish and chips restaurant in the front of their community center that operated a couple days a week. And it was just such a nice addition. And I realized this is like so much more on top of this, but you know, I would love to see this community keep having more for its people and having more third places. So that is my entire reason, as you all know, why I'm such a proponent of this. I realized seems like a ridiculous amount of money, but it's there. It's not, he can sit on it. He probably has the money to pay for it, and he'll sit on it and he'll sell it at some point and he'll make that money. And I think
We won't
that's,
have it,
yeah,
and we won't have the potential.
so,
Well, I mean, you could certainly argue that he is not. He's unlikely to be able to get $60,000 for that property.
I have a limited experience with this, but I do have an experience of somebody who bought less than half an acre.
Mhm.
And for less than $2,000 at a tax auction. Closure auction, whatever you call them.
Mhm.
So, and then was offered $47,000 to not build on that to sell it to, the neighbors or whatever.
Right.
So there are people there
Yeah.
who, for whatever reason, see a property and it's worth, $40,000.
It's worth what you can get. for
Yeah,
it.
it's
And
worth.
it only takes one guy.
I don't know, dream you can put on it,
Yeah.
something, it's,
Right.
so there's no. I keep wanting to say, let's make him tear it down and then we'll buy it. But there's just no guarantee.
I
I
feel,
mean, financially, Laura.
I like what you said about dreaming what you can put on it, because it's like, it's only worth what we're talking about if we can dream of what we're gonna put on it, and
Right.
I'd love to have that dream.
We used to talk about putting a library over there.
Yeah. in the building is there, well, it's still salvageable. But, you know, we could, Mariah was dreaming earlier today, I was talking to her
Dreaming
about.
while she was working? We're paying her to dream? What?
About, you know, why don't we make this complex the community center and build the town offices over
There you
there?
go.
That's not a crazy idea.
It's not a
Yeah,
crazy
it's a big
idea at
building.
all.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not,
Proper
space that we
storage
need to
for
do,
the
but this is a
history.
big room for what we're.
exactly.
Yep.
But to answer those kind, you know, those kind of things that we can think about, you know, the big unmet thing on our things we'd like to do someday is the community center. And we got hung up at the where question, which we thought we had an answer for, and that's why the park exists. But then it turned out that the area that was set aside specifically for the purpose isn't suitable. So we're still at that question, where?
Is more suitable than that in the wetness sense?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wetland, it's floodplain. There's a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, it just that we were making the connection, we were just talking about
Yes,
how wet it
yes.
is over here, and I remember
Yeah,
that's why
no.
we were saying that that was no good.
Rhonda's got a hand up, so you can't weigh in here, Rhonda.
Well, I was going to say that what bothers me about the whole issue is that when Chris Muka offered to sell it to the town for $12,000, the town refused. Yes, they did. Yes,
No.
they did.
No,
Yes, they did, because I
that is not
talked
what
to
happened.
Rick.
The town offered him $10,000 and the deal did not go through.
Well, but he wanted 12. And
He
so
then
he
sold
got
it to this guy.
12 from the guy who currently owns it. So this is what happens when you pass up some of these deals. I mean, we're talking about a difference of $2,000, and it's, to me, it's just a very unfortunate thing. And now he wants to more than double his price. And I think that he may be able to get it from somebody, but, you know, I hope the town doesn't end up paying.
Mhm.
Who actually owns the property right now?
His name is Raphael, he's got another, and he goes by Raphael Akronfi.
It is. Yes, it is.
We
can't.
He bought it with Chris Mukin.
What's it sold in, commercial or is it housing?
Commercial.
Commercial?
Well, it's both, it's in the hamlet, you can do, there's a lot of flexibility in what you can do.
Wait, because she,
No variety.
yeah, you,
I'll get this,
Right.
come on up here, just so to provide, or pick up you and folks on Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just wondering what it was a zone for, and you said it was for both, it's depending on.
Well, Greg, just look into it.
It's zoned for commercial and residential, zone Hamlet neighborhood. Sorry, Hamlet Center.
Hamlet Center, right?
So it's.
Yeah.
Residential, commercial, there's pretty much anything
Mixed
except for
use.
industrial kind of uses.
Okay,
There's a
so
lot.
it's only half an acre, right?
0.58,
Once since
about 6.
Okay. So you can't really it's not really big enough for a business on its own?
Well, it depends. I mean, depends on what the business was. It's zoned for it.
Yeah, yeah.
If we put in the sewers, it would make it a lot more, you know, give it a lot more options.
Yeah.
If you have to do on-site septic, you're kind of limited where you can put it. Gonna end up by the road instead of,
So if Lane's Automotive bought it and they wanted to build onto their building,
they could
how
do
close do you want it to be?
exactly.
Okay. No, yeah, I mean, there's all
Well,
sorts
yeah,
of
how
stuff.
close do you want it to be to
Yeah.
the town hall?
it.
Whether it's a community center or a
That
town hall.
truck right there, you know,
Right. Once it's sitting in the park for quite a while.
so, wow, yeah, more.
I'm actually gonna look at that orange truck and see
Yeah.
if I can buy it and get it out of there. For parts.
Maybe we could help.
Okay,
Yeah.
What's your name?
Peter? More?
Yeah.
Peter Moore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Peter Moore, who was very prominent in the town.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I cut nearly all the hay.
I know, I
Yeah.
know, I know. Cut all the hay. That's what
Yeah.
So yeah, it does have commercial potential, and even more so if we do have some sort of a shared wastewater system of some sort. So if you hang on to it long enough, it might be worth more, when that potential
Right.
develops. You could be waiting a while and it might never happen.
Can we talk about our financial situation? Briefly about how this would
Where to get
impact,
money?
or would get the
Where
money?
would we get the
No,
money?
no, she's still here. Yeah. Where's our
I had that same
analysis of
question.
that?
She's there, she's hiding.
Right.
Yeah.
Shut the
Sorry,
lights
what?
off.
So shouldn't a lot of this be going on in executive session?
No.
Well, because we're at the end stage.
Yeah, you're talking about township, but buying something,
Right.
and generally, you don't want.
Sorry, Marty, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
That's
Right,
okay.
sorry.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah,
to answer your question, Marty, yeah, it could be an
Yeah.
executive session, but because we're at the end stage where, we either take it or not, for this price. I thought, I didn't see any compelling reason not to share that information. Laura, where would we get the money?
So you're talking about approximately, what, about $60,000
Yes.
Yeah,
as far as the purchase, the demolition?
Right.
Where you could get the money is you've had a wonderful year last year where you added to the your fund balance. As a matter of fact, you've added to your fund balance in the last several years. You've added a substantial amount to your fund balance. And this is something that you could do with some of that money.
and this is one of the reasons to have the fund balance
Right,
be there.
Yes, yes, that is one of the reasons to have the fund balance, and in situations like this come up and it's an opportunity, and as you say, you're kind of at the end of the process now and wanting to act on it. And that would be my suggestion. Is to use some of your fund balance money to purchase the property. I mean, as we know, it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget, and it hasn't been set up in a budget for 2026 at all or anything, but this is one of those things that it's there for.
Right. Yeah.
Taxes, if you buy it, you don't get the taxes.
right, yeah.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Because, we're talking about assessed for, was it 12, 10, something like that?
Cause
It's not paying a lot of taxes anyway. And it would sit there I doubt that the assessment would change, even though we can get twice as much for it, but,
Right.
does the assessed value will go up once you buy it and take the building
Yeah.
off?
well, once if we buy,
Yeah.
it, of course, just the value would be sort of determined, but since we don't pay taxes, it wouldn't make any difference.
I mean, we'd also have the option.
If somebody actually paid $50,000 for it, to cover the cost of demolition and what he wants for it, then it would end up being, valued somewhere around $50,000. That would make a difference.
Yeah,
Only if somebody else buys it though.
yeah. Also demolition, cannot the road crew demolish it?
That's
Like,
what I'm
take
Well,
the
no, because you
payload
gotta
and
be-
just scoop it
Well,
up?
I'm wondering if we couldn't look into that as far as, maybe this other, safety thing could happen, preliminary. And then, once certain things are taken care of, the town could finish it
What basically the word from Steve was, you gotta be certified.
to do the whole
What
thing.
do you gotta be certified for? Is it full of asbestos?
Yeah, asbestos and.
Was it checked out for asbestos?
Yeah, there was.
Peter.
Yeah, they did, because that was the thing, and if they had done an asbestos remediation first, then you can get rid of the property, just construction demolition debris. But,
Oh, well,
but you would have to get rid of the asbestos first,
okay,
so they wouldn't, because of its condition, it's not really safe to remove the asbestos.
Well, what are they gonna do with it? Bury it?
They're gonna crunch
it
the
has to be
whole thing up and
transported.
cart it up to a licensed landfill that will
Right.
accept asbestos containing waste. So it's gotta be handled with asbestos safe practices, which means that they'll
Right,
somebody equipped with equipment to sort of basically crunch it up and put it in dumpsters
right,
while they keep it all wet, to keep from any dust from being
right,
generated.
right.
And then it gets carted and they gotta monitor the air while they do it.
Yeah.
To demonstrate that they're not creating airborne asbestos.
Right.
I can't imagine that house has got that much asbestos.
There's hardly anything of the house left, you know,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the
what.
testing showed, where the testing showed
In the
asbestos to
basement?
be.
Yeah,
In the pipes?
I would wonder like who tested it for asbestos and
Oh, that's a question for them. I mean, the word was that they did have it tested because that was a question that we both had. Was, couldn't you just get rid of the asbestos and then you can get rid of the house a lot cheaper?
Right,
They looked into doing it and confirmed that yes, indeed, there is asbestos. And that it was going to be too hazardous to deal with.
because the building's falling
Because the
down.
building's falling apart, danger of falling through the
so it
roof.
would be nice to be able to get information about where the asbestos is. I mean,
Yeah, if it's inside the furnace, they just demolish the house.
it's just around the pipes in the basement.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether it's floor, it could be floor tiles, it could be,
Right,
it could be roofing cement.
I know when I
Pipe
took
installation.
asbestos shingles off the side of my house, they
Right.
said, just double bag it and bring it to the landfill or bury it on site. And it's like, okay.
You can bury it because it's not it's an airborne hazard, but not a, it's not, it's not gonna bother anybody if you bury it. It's inert.
Oh.
So I've done that, took the asbestos siding off my house. Not only that, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
right.
But if they have anybody else do it, they gotta be
Right.
certified. And then it's a big deal, because it's a very elaborate requirement regarding, keeping it
So
from.
we could do it. So we
Yeah,
could do it.
Joe could buy it. He could take it down by himself and bury it.
Right, and then we'll buy it. from
Well, I did.
All that orange truck, and we'll just
Yeah. I mean,
get it running.
I did do that to 66 Station Road.
Yeah,
It had asbestos in it and I got rid of it,
I think it would be good. I mean, I would like to know where the asbestos is. If they did testing and they found asbestos, where is it? And then, I'm inclined to want to have the town acquire the property,
Me too.
but I
Well, I think we're all inclined to want it.
what?
I think we're all inclined to want it. It's a question of at what price.
Well,
And the question before us is,
Yeah,
are we willing to pay $28,000 for it?
I don't think we have a
Plus the
lot of
cost
choice.
demolition.
I don't think we have choice either. And the other thing is that if we own it and then we do the demolition, that's when we might be able to get a less expensive demolition.
Right,
If we don't have to if we can find out that
the asbestos, where the asbestos.
where the
is.
asbestos is. I mean,
So,
these are the quotes that we
What
got.
I'm hearing is you're actually willing to wait on the demolition and offer to buy it as is. While we look into whether or not we can figure out some way to
Yeah,
get it
because we
cheaper.
know the maximum amount of the demolition's already been told to us.
Well, the minimum amount of the demolition's been told to us.
Right,
The minimum?
the 29.
To have a certified contractor do it. We got 4 quotes
I'm
running.
looking
from-
at them.
From
Yeah,
27,000,
the-
29,000 at the lowest, and the highest one is like 50.
36.
54.
$54,000.
Yeah.
And there's some minor differences. I mean, some of them don't include the
Right,
grading. One of them includes grading and seeding.
Well-
But that's hard to account for a difference between 29
I know.
and 50. So, Steve's not here. I mean, you could, we could have that discussion with Steve if we wanted to about, do we have to have certified contractor remove it? But that's the word that I got from him, was that he would highway isn't suitably, equipped and certified to do it. So my conclusion was, we would have to hire somebody, we would have to hire it done, and then whether, and then their lowest and our lowest are the same one.
Oh, maybe it's wrong.
They're looking at the quotes.
I'm saying asbestos containing materials confirmed through bulk sample analysis. It seems like 2 locations. The white plaster in the den ceiling. And then it's got partial in parentheses, I assume, because half the ceiling's
Fallen
not
in.
there. 200 square feet. And then in the white window glazing,
Right.
in the kitchen, in the living room,
The asbestos is where is it?
Yeah.
in the
That's-
white window glazing.
Yeah.
Are you the one that said that to me once about glazing, or did
Yeah.
you?
I mean, I talked to Steve for a minute about this and.
They used to put lead in it, but I never seen
Yeah,
anybody put
there's
asbestos in it.
asbestos in it. I mean, you're,
Yeah, right.
aluminum can do that. I just have an idea. Oh, I was gonna say, if you're talking about 200 square feet of asbestos containing materials,
What is it?
Asbestos.
I mean, what you're gonna.
Good job, Zach.
Sorry.
Start over if you're talking about. Start there.
If you're talking about 200 square feet of asbestos containing materials,
That's a lot.
that's a lot. I mean, even if you could get to it, which I wouldn't, and state it's in, you're gonna probably, let's say it's making up numbers, 15,000 to take that asbestos out, and then probably still the same amount to take the rest of the building down separately. So it's kind of a,
Sure.
yeah. So, correct.
There may be some on the roof shingling, although it's not. It's not on this list, it's
It
on
just,
this map, I don't know.
yeah. So the window glazing is no big deal, but the 200 square feet of, what, 400 square feet?
That's some of the partial den ceiling, the ceiling in the den.
Where's it gonna? That's just.
Some of it's probably
tile,
on the
somebody
floor,
put tile
in the
ceiling
basement.
up.
Yeah.
I was just gonna throw out there,
Okay.
and I might kick myself for suggesting this, but
You wanna do it?
there is CDBG grant money for clearing what's considered imminent threats. And they can be sort of blighted sort of spots. Right, and so there's already a lot of documentation so far, so a lot of the legwork has been done in terms of, code officers' reports and, town resolutions. A lot of documentation already. The application is due at the end of the year, December 31st, which seems like quite a while, but there's public
Yeah.
hearing required. There's a 2-step process, a pre-application process, and then a final application. I definitely could, at the very least, submit a pre-application, and then the state would then say you're accepted to then submit a full one, or they could just reject us outright. So it might be worth to just submit a pre-application and see. A little bit of a caveat, though, in terms of just my brief 10 minutes of researching about this, is that because it's CDBG, there's certain national, would you guys just mind? Because it might pick up some chatter in the background.
Yeah.
1 second, thanks. And I could always present on this maybe next time too, to not take too much time here, but if there is an intended use of the property, so the money goes for demolition and clearance. So it could be vacant, it could be sort of, converted to be vacant, but if there's a change of use, which is probably, might be planned, right? You don't want to just keep it a vacant lot, you might want to do something with it. There are certain change in use requirements because it's CDBG money. So one thing that sort of is a red flag here, it seems like, is that to meet a national objective under CDBG, it's not a building for general conduct of local government. So if the potential use of the property would be for conduct of local government, then we could just kind of scrap this idea here. but,
Or well,
you know, some things where some, you know, examples of uses, affordable housing, daycare, or new business. So it's, in terms of,
So I mean, as a library, that's
Yeah,
not
that would be-
government, is it? I
government.
mean, a library and a daycare?
it might be worth a question into, our CDBG counterpart at the state that we've been working with, just to ask about this. Again, it's a very quick timeline. I mean, we're talking less than 2 months here.
Huh.
I just wanted to bring it up that this could be a grant that could cover, it's, you know, extremely eligible project here. There's already lots of documentation, that it might help to cover that clearing cost. It's,
If it comes with a string to say we can't use it for what we would like to
Right,
use it
that
for.
would-
right, so it comes with,
It's
with a
like, I'm not
string.
sure I wanna go there, but.
Well, it
That's
just
what we
means we
need
can
to
use it for the town
confirm
hall,
what it can be
right?
and
I
can't
mean,
be used, and we don't know that yet. That's
Yeah,
why we
sure.
should check on it.
Yeah,
Maybe not
so-
a community center.
Why not?
That
It's not
timeline
town.
is 5 years. I should ask that, of that change in use clause, it's a period of 5 years. You have to wait 5 years to then convert it to something that might not be eligible in
Oh.
those 5 years.
So it could take us 5 years to do it.
Takes us 5 years to do anything, right?
So it might be worth maybe just, I
Yeah.
could reach out to, you know, those
Yes.
folks, and maybe it's worth submitting a pre-application just to see if this is something that might be worth considering.
that feels better.
Yes.
So this is translating into potentially we're willing to pay $28,000 for it as is. Don't demolish the building.
Yeah.
Which is to say, we're not going to force the issue by saying, you know, we told you to take it down. But now we're telling you not to.
Well,
We gotta get on the ball with things
Yeah.
like that. We
Yeah.
should have made them take it down.
Well, we didn't, you know, and if we had, then it would have been an issue with what are we willing to pay for it, because you cost him X to take it down. They looked at it and determined that it was gonna cost them as much to get rid of these, kind of Zach's analysis, get rid of the asbestos and then get rid of it, as it would be if they just got rid of it as if it's presumed to have asbestos in it and the whole thing got taken away. Which is what we priced too. And that's what we've got 4 quotes to do.
I
But
think
we
we
haven't
should,
picked any of these and I would like to hold off because I don't think there's a lot of asbestos over there.
he just said 200.
is a lot.
There is a lot.
Is a lot,
Zach
yeah.
just said it is a lot.
It is a lot.
In the ceiling?
Yeah.
No, all the glazing and the glass and the,
Oh, just this
Oh.
thing.
Just a
The
series.
so
ceiling
you have
alone
to-
is a lot.
You could take the windows out, right?
But it's where this roof has collapsed already. Is
Yeah,
the
which means you
ceiling.
can't just get to
That's
them.
The problem. So you have to work up and down. but-
Oh, what a bummer.
Right, like if it was an expensive, dangerous job to get the asbestos out, then you'd pay for that, and then after that's done, how much cheaper is the demolition now?
Not likely much.
Maybe not enough cheaper.
I had it, last 2 years ago, I looked at a property that I thought about buying, and it had some kind of weird stuff on the attic floor. Which technically, if it's enclosed, isn't dangerous, but I thought, yes, why buy this? And I think I wanna sell it and nobody will buy it, but the quote at the time, 2 years ago, just to get that stuff out of the attic in a house, just a little house, a little one, was 6,000, just to get that out.
Mhm.
And that was just an attic space.
I think we should do is, we can decide on the, buying the property and hold off on the details of how to do the demolition till we get some more information about it. We don't have to do both of them tonight, and there's no reason to do both of them, so I.
No, I mean,
look at-
we would have to, basically, we would say,
We'd have
willing to
to
buy it,
draw the order.
and we're not gonna force you to take the building down.
Correct.
Which is an option. I'm sure he'd be happy to not have to follow through. Cause what I told him was, you know, either you take it down or we'll take it down, cause we're tired of waiting, you know, the building ought to come out.
Yeah,
That's what I told him. And now we're saying, well, maybe not, but that's all
well,
right.
it's still we're still taking it down. It's just
Yes.
Maybe not
But maybe not till year. So-
And if we have external money to do it, then that's better for all of us, him and us.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It seems like we could rush and try to take it down this year for higher costs, or the chance at taking a little extra time and maybe paying a little bit less. Or maybe taking extra time and paying the same amount, but chance at maybe
But,
paying less.
but we take that option
Yeah,
of seeing more details than we had now.
I mean,
Thank
any
you so
angle,
much
pay
for
less.
looking at this.
I knew that opportunity was there, but I didn't know, until the town was actually serious about
Mhm.
looking into this, that I.
Not withholding any other.
Okay. So are we coming to a point here where we could say,
I think so.
we're willing to
I
accept?
Joel, could you please repeat your motion?
He didn't make it
I
yet.
didn't make
We
it.
didn't make it.
Okay, good.
You made it, you made didn't you make a motion and then?
Well, I just-
It wasn't really a motion. You
No, I mean, I
said,
had to describe a scenario where we would acquire it.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
And then,
Just do it.
there's just two.
Okay, so
That's okay.
they have to make it.
Yeah, we didn't motion.
Okay,
So I guess the motion would be to agree to pay $28,000 for the property.
how much?
28.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 20.
And then we have another one. Why don't we follow it up with another motion rather than put it all in one?
I'll second that.
So, ready for a vote?
Yep.
Okay, right.
Connors,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes,
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes. And I guess I would follow that up with saying that we're not going to require him to take the building down. In fact, we're gonna ask him not to.
I wouldn't ask him not to.
He takes it down, that's pretty.
Well, he's unlikely to do it if we agree to buy it and we're not gonna force him to.
Right, but you don't have to tell him that explicitly.
well, you might want to, he may have be signing an agreement with somebody.
In that case,
Yeah.
it's fine if he does.
Well, it takes a month
Want
or
him to take
two
it down.
to get the
Well, he
thing
expects,
done.
from everything I've been telling him, is that if, you should be ready to sign this tomorrow. Or else we're gonna have it done.
Right,
he's not gonna
Right.
take it down, I mean,
So, the word gonna be, we'll take it,
accidentally sign the contract.
leave the house there,
yes.
we'll deal. And actually, we don't need a motion for that. I mean, we're not.
No, we don't.
Basically.
If you
Although
tell
it
him,
wouldn't hurt to have a motion to say that, we want to rescind the order to demolish.
Okay. I'll second that.
if you don't tell him, he might actually demolish it and sell it to you.
I know.
And charge.
Yeah.
Yes, bad chance that's gonna happen.
I mean, what are the odds that he's
I
gonna
was thinking that.
do it for us for free? I mean, I don't know that that's. gonna
Yeah, I don't
happen.
think we have to vote on anything. We just,
Well, we just made a motion to rescind the order to demolish.
Why do we wanna do?
I don't think we need to.
Because otherwise it's under, an order to demolish. And remove,
It's even acknowledging there was an order.
yeah. There was an order. And it had a 90-day timeline with it.
I mean, I imagine he would probably ask for us to rescind that.
Then let him ask.
Yeah, why don't we just?
Wait, too many people are talking
Yeah,
for
one
at
time
once.
time.
And I don't, and Mariah, if
No way.
if
no
you
way.
enter, you have to be heard.
Right. You,
I just don't see any reason, I mean, we don't have to take any action to like demolish his house or, send him a nasty letter or anything. But, I mean, on the off chance that somehow this thing comes down because he pays for demolishing it. What if he doesn't take the deal and we're, halfway into a conversation about not demolishing a house? It's just, why not just buy the house and.
he offered to sell it to
We're
us.
not gonna come after him to demolish it. I mean, that would
Yeah.
be weird.
What I told him was that I would get a yes or no on $28,000 out of the board tonight. And that's where we are.
You got,
I
yeah.
just got it.
So
Got a
we're
yes.
done.
And we could just leave it at that.
I would leave it at that.
But, I mean, the only reason why I would be interested,
And it's only
Wait,
2
everybody-
weeks till we have another meeting. So if we have more information or something, we can talk about it then, but there's no reason to make such a decision right now.
Okay.
I think we need to start taking our orders seriously. especially around these houses that are falling apart and unsafe.
I am
And we
completely-
order something and then we just
Yeah, it was only because
don't
of,
do anything about it.
it was only because of the peculiar situation of this property being adjoining and us having an interest in acquiring it, that discuss.
Yeah,
That it didn't have, that we didn't lean on him to do it within that 90 days. But that's where we
It's
are.
not, it's not the only order that we may be doing and have
No,
tried to
no.
do,
right.
period. And I think that's what Leslie is alluding to, that when the town needs to believe us about trying to move forward on some of these issues.
Right, which is why I told him what I told him, but
Yeah.
Circumstances change.
Yeah.
All right. We have other things we need to get to.
So we're just leaving the order out there in the air.
We
Well,
can-
let's see, you made a motion, right?
You made a motion.
And I seconded it, didn't I?
I have that Daniel made the motion to rescind the order,
Yeah.
Okay.
seconded
And
by
I'll second
Connors.
Megan seconded it. So unless I withdraw the motion, we should vote on
Right.
it. Well, you withdraw it?
I wouldn't rescind the motion. If you want to do something about delay it, that makes more sense than rescinding. Delaying because we have specific reasons for delaying it. There
Why
may
would
be
we delay it?
There may be additional funding that we would do rather than forcing him to do it before we close.
Right, so we want him to not, we want to take the order away from him. It's now, it would be in our lap.
Well, yeah, because we.
And we wouldn't be saying, well, you know, he's got an order, but we'll just like look the other way. And
Right.
I feel like we need to, you know, belly up for these things.
Which way do you think we should do it? Just curious. Do you think we should leave it the way it is, I mean, buy it and say the order exists and then I don't know how to have.
I don't think
Withdraw- I mean,
I think for our
Withdraw the
credibility,
order.
as you alluded to.
Yeah.
for credibility, we should rescind the order.
right,
Because otherwise it looks like we ordered it done,
Right,
but we didn't follow through.
right, that's
just
what-
like,
right.
letting it,
Right,
you know, hang
and,
out there.
and we are not following through because we decided not to push the issue because we're gonna buy it instead.
And shouldn't,
Well,
shouldn't we just?
we ordered it. I think
Rather
we
than
need to
rescind it?
unorder it.
The biggest win for the town is if you leave the order in place and he demolishes it and you buy it.
It's not gonna demolish it.
I completely disagree, Ted, but.
Yeah, I want to rescind the order to demolish.
You'd rather pay for demolishing it and buy it? Let him demolish it.
But
He's
Gary-
not gonna demolish it.
Right, Gary has his
No,
hand
he's
up
not
too.
gonna.
Yeah, Gary has his hand up too.
If we rescind it, we certainly won't demolish it.
You have a comment, Gary?
The only thing I'd like to say is, I know years and years ago, when they were remodeling the town hall, all the offices were moved to the school.
Yeah,
And we had an opportunity then to buy the school for next to nothing. That's a
Yeah.
school, 2 septic systems, 2 wells, plus a school in 20-some acres. For, like I say, next to nothing. That would house all the departments, a
Yeah.
community center, a spot for the kids. And why don't you look into the school district and forget about that property, sell the town hall and buy the school? And you could rent the extra your rooms out to businesses.
Cost of renovation.
Bricks are bad.
Just my thought.
just a thought.
Half of that is really good.
Half of that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to vote on the motion.
Well, I just want to say, I think the only way that it's really gonna come to relevance of like whether we rescinded it or didn't, or, you know, whatnot, would be, like you said, there's the credibility issue where it's like, you know, if you're the town, you want to do it by the book, and if you're not asking them to demolish it, you should tell them that. But there's also, you know, the angle of like, if this sale gets 60 days in and then somehow doesn't actually happen, now we've asked him to demolish it, then we didn't actually follow through, then we told him he doesn't have to, then we said do it, then we said don't do
We'd have to
it.
put
Then
another
we're gonna
order.
say do it again,
Yeah.
and at a certain
Here,
point, he's gonna, you know, I mean, why not just leave the, I mean, at the very least, you could change the order instead of like rescinding it and saying this doesn't exist, say, contingent on like closing this deal,
Right,
you know, like this will be rescinded once you
Right,
don't
I
own
think
this
that's-
property.
Yes,
contingent on closing the deal.
That's not a bad
Yes.
suggestion.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, I would.
So, I'll amend the motion to say we will rescind the order contingent on the deal being, consummated.
Okay, I'll second that.
and this time we want to have a firm date for closing, for doing that.
Well, you know how it is with closing days.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah.
Right, but it can slip away as time goes by. That would be, after all of this, that would be horrible. So,
Well, you know, I mean, it takes a while to arrange these things, well, that's another conversation, is, do we want to, we need somebody to handle our side of the deal. He's probably not Guy, because that's not his thing. You wanna, well, anyway, we have a motion on the
Yeah, it's
floor.
not part of this motion.
Yeah. Ready?
just how can we make it contingent? I just want to be clear that we're not getting ourselves into something that it slips away because of,
Well, the only contingent, or you mean the deal at all?
yeah.
Well, then rescinding the order is contingent upon the deal, basically,
No.
we sign a contract to purchase.
I thought we're not, we're already past it when we're buying it.
Yeah,
Oh, we passed that
Okay.
already.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
And then with the, okay,
So, we got a signed contract to purchase.
Yeah.
And then, if once we have that, then the order goes away. So, just in case, so there's nobody can change their mind, but we don't yet have a signed purchase offer.
great. That's why we asked the question, but
I mean, he agrees, it's in that statement. Okay, so ready? Okay, Mariah,
Connors,
yes.
Hunter,
yes,
Stein,
No,
no.
Woodward,
Yes,
Gagnon,
Yes,
better.
that was weird. Say, no, on your own idea.
Yeah. Way to go.
Okay,
Passed.
yes. I did raise the question, and you might, how would you like to handle the closing? Should I find somebody to handle this for us?
Well, how else would we do it? I mean,
The other way to do it is if we had a lawyer handle both sides. They have an inherent conflict of interest if they do that, but I just went through, so it went that way. But I think we should hire somebody to represent our side.
probably.
I mean, if he wants to use the same lawyer, have it be our lawyer that handles both sides, that would be okay, but split the cost, but.
if we pick the lawyer, yeah.
Yeah. And that would probably go to. You need somebody to do that first.
I move that we have the town needs to select its own lawyer to do the purchase and offer the seller to share that lawyer for the closing.
If they want to, yeah. And basically you're asking me to find that lawyer.
Well, I think you should take it. If any of us find somebody and pass along ideas to, I think it would be nice if you ran it by us. So if you find somebody and let us know who it is.
Well, I mean, Adam Cartman just did the closing for me and he's highly regarded.
I don't know that name.
Who? Adam. He was Cartman. He teaches on this subject, I mean, he's kind of a lawyer's lawyer when it comes to handling property transactions. But if not, I mean, I would ask him who, who would he recommend? And go to them. And I could also ask Guy if he has somebody he would recommend.
Did you just say ask Raphael?
No, Guy.
Guy?
I would ask Guy who he would recommend to handle the property transaction.
How many millions would he charge us to answer that question? I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea as long as it's just to pass
Yeah.
along a couple of references to us, which
Yeah,
one would hope that he might do.
right.
Just a name, you
Yeah.
know, nothing,
Yeah, don't do the
No
work,
more
guy, just give us some names.
paragraphs. No paragraphs.
Right. Well, I mean, the minor property transaction was $2,500.
Right.
That's what it costs to hire a lawyer to do a closing nowadays.
I just.
Can I repeat that back to you? I don't have a second. I have a hire a lawyer for the closing on 1840 and possibly split the cost with the seller. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Who seconded it?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll look into it. If you want, I can wait until I can report back in a couple of weeks.
What about a couple of weeks?
I can report back to the board.
Oh,
Here's our options.
I'm getting very nervous. I want to hear back 2 days from now.
I know.
Well, that's the thing, is if you're going to sign the purchase offer, you need to find somebody to handle your side of the transaction.
I know, but I don't want us to wait 2 weeks
Maybe
to
we don't
find
have
out. whether
to,
he'll
maybe
do-
somebody else besides Guy has a good idea
Yeah.
too, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, ideally, you would say, find a lawyer,
Yes,
do it.
Okay,
If you're willing to do that, then I'll do it.
But I would ask more than one person.
Mhm. Who they would recommend, or,
yeah.
okay. So the motion is to hire somebody. Right. Right. Okay, ready?
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was painful.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Don't look at the clock.
Okay, all right. Is that real time? Yeah. Where are we? Next up. Well, there's a lot of work went into that, coming to that point. We have a proposal from T.C. Miller to for professional services to design and get us from design to construction drawings for the accessibility things here. Both the entryway and the crosswalk. And it's a surprising amount of money, but the committee recommends that we go there.
I would like to hear some people talk about this so that,
Mariah is the committee chair. Perhaps you
Yeah,
could
Mariah.
do it.
So the original quote was, I think, 15 or 16,000. Zach and I agreed to oversee the construction administration. So that knocked about 4,000 off. The current high estimate is 11,500. We have preliminary drawings. Hopefully we can knock some of that cost off. Cost for professional services is expensive. You're getting some of that for free. I think they're a good firm. I called around and talked to people from other firms, and I think TG Miller is the best that I could find.
It's a very thorough, comprehensive bid package,
Yep.
which demonstrates competence in mind. He covered all the bases. And it's an up to. Hopefully we don't, we have to spend all that money, but that's an up to. There's a range. I think up to, what, did you add at the lower end? I did, but I don't remember now what the number was.
I did not. But it's, probably 8 or 9,000.
3, 8.
8. So somewhere between 8 and 11, was it?
11.5.
Mhm. And that was supported by Mark and also Zach.
Well, we need to do something.
Yeah.
About the ADA stuff, we need to get
This
moving.
has been
on it.
hanging over for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, so,
I think everyone's let these big numbers sink in a little bit now.
Mhm.
It's been quite a while.
I'm,
Over sticker shock.
This
has faded.
could be, this we could cover out of, building capital reserve.
right, we've already talked about this costing us a lot of money, that we have understood that the options at one point were wait 5 years for
Yeah, right,
maybe something.
Yes, right.
Yeah, and we decided no, because after we wait the 5 years, then we started getting all the planning, and it takes 8 years or whatever. I mean, I think we already had that part of this discussion.
Mhm.
And a positive perspective on this is getting this crosswalk is pretty cool. I want there to be a sidewalk on 96B, so this is one of the steps to that. I mean, this involves the crosswalk.
Getting from one side of the road.
Yeah,
to the other.
getting from one side of the road to the other.
Right.
There could be a sidewalk there someday. I
Right,
mean, this is step one of that, and like legally, we have to put
Yeah.
this ramp. The ramp has to be right. So,
yeah,
I would also like to point out that we did have a woman pull up. She had a cane. She pulled up. Her daughter pulled her up right to the curb, and she got out of her car and fell because the curb is horribly uneven. And I think that if I would like to see this get done. I would hate for the town to have some kind of accident lawsuit going on there.
right.
I move we accept the TG Miller proposal for professional services to do this stuff at up to 11.5.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Joel,
Laura?
in your motion, could you include in that motion and in the minutes that money would be coming out of the building reserve?
yeah.
The money
Just
will
so that
come.
it's, just so that
reserve.
it's pinpointed down, so the fact that you guys approve it, that you have also approved where it's coming from. Out of
Yep,
there.
I just added that.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
Thanks you.
I didn't hear it quite that, I didn't hear it that way, but you guys.
no, it was
No, she-
while you were speaking.
Yeah.
Well, in response
Oh,
to your
okay.
comment, she
Yeah.
added.
Gotcha, thank you.
Did you second who seconded that?
I
You
did.
second her, you approved
Yes.
it.
So you got that right?
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. Vote.
Connors,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes,
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Canyon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah,
right.
now that you're back to right.
We're spending money tonight. Discussion, data centers and renewable energy installations.
Wait a minute, where are we?
There have been comments made, Warren
Okay,
Cross in particular raised the issue, whether or not we're vulnerable to the possibility of a data center being located in Danby. And more broadly, There's also the question of wind farms, and battery energy storage facilities, both of which potentially could be a source of low frequency noise, which could be disturbing at considerable distances. Whether those issues are adequately addressed in our current regulatory climate. And I guess that's a sort of a question for you, Greg, is, my response was, well, we're not zoned for it, so it's not allowed, but,
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to speak on the subject.
yeah.
No, no.
Oh,
Well, it's the
great.
context I would.
Much.
You can't wing it or, no.
Yeah, right.
I've seen some data centers recently, driving through Ohio and, you're basically talking about like 100 acres of
Yes.
everything has been turned to dirt and they're just putting up windowless buildings,
Yes.
that are the biggest buildings I've ever seen in my life. And they're just like building, parking lot, building, parking lot, building. And they look like the biggest like Amazon,
Yeah.
warehouse you've ever seen. But it's like one and then another and then another and then another just side by side. It's kind of crazy. And from everything I understand about that industry, we're seeing like the very beginning first drop of what's going to happen because, AI coming into all of our, various parts of our lives is going to require a humongous amount of data centers. And I mean, they haven't begun to build. I mean, the capacity that you have to imagine when you imagine AI going into everything and not just your search engine is, there's going to be 50 times as many data centers in 5 years as there are now. So we should take very seriously the idea that like every available spot that they could put one of these places, they're going to put them.
Right.
And I don't know about, I'm not sure about windmills, like, I guess windmills are getting more popular these days, but the data centers especially to me is just like, we're seeing the very beginning of a movement to construct a humongous amount of this.
I feel very strongly about this also, and the same thing, back to my statement before, if it's out, I think that we should be looking out for caring about the town and trying to do what we can to protect in all the ways, because Warren Cross called me and told me about this, that he said that every town that has something said, we never thought they would come here. And that, and when the question arose, we have people with a lot of acreage and taxes to pay, and, there's no way that we can say nobody would do that here. Nobody would do that here. I think what we do need to find out is what kind of legislation, and when we're looking at Lansing, trying to put a moratorium on big business growth or whatever they call it. It's irresponsible for us not to pay attention and do something here. I don't know what the what is, but we've got to do something.
Well, I mean, I think that it's worth asking a question, should we do something? And is there a need to do something? Because it might be, and maybe we could ask Guy this question, are we adequately protected with the zoning as it is? Or not? Should we do something more?
I mean, there are a number of things, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is a design guideline, a commercial design guidelines for that would only cover the data centers probably. Well, I don't know, battery energy storage facility. But, I wonder if, and maybe asking Guy, I'm thinking of the fracking stuff and is it the data centers that are using so much water?
And electricity, I heard.
Yeah,
One
water.
data center
Water.
uses as much electricity as two Atlantas.
I think is supposedly, maybe we could get more information about these things. But I think the water withdrawal would be.
Well, I mean,
major issue.
there's the one proposed in Lansing, they're saying is going to be, and they're pointing to one that they've got up, I don't know if it's up Syracuse way, that they've already done, where they say that we're not using all that much water. They've got a closed loop. They need it for cooling, but they're just running around, and it's not it's not a significant draw.
What's
Lives.
significant? I don't believe that. And the other thing,
You don't have the lake
any,
anyway, even if you wanted to do it, you'd have to get it out of the lake.
One thing I would worry about is a nearby facility needing to have like a ton of electricity come through, because that's the other thing is like these facilities,
Yeah,
there
right.
were power plants like right next to them, and then
Right.
like thousands of different directions, electric cords going, because they're bringing in electricity from like every local power plant. And yeah, like the stats that I heard about how much electricity these places are using are like double the amount of electricity that Atlanta uses in a day. Or one of these facilities, which is like, I mean, it's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
And it's also like,
It's also.
those are resources that people won't get to use.
Right, exactly.
Because like that electricity comes from like the electricity that you were gonna use, which means the price goes up.
Right, exactly. It's a drive, it's a price driver, and not to mention the, well, it's a price driver.
Maybe
but
they won't be
creating a
interested in
shortage.
communities with no broadband.
Yes.
Maybe we should, maybe we should rethink that.
Yeah, right.
Even if we weren't gonna see a facility be built here, we might see like huge amounts of land cleared to put like, you know, a mile wide power lines through our whole community if we weren't ready.
Oh,
Doing that right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so, right, so the one thing that maybe I can just contribute at this point was that Marnie handed me a letter she received about the flare project, which
Yeah,
is
right.
the Finger Lakes area.
Yeah, this upgrade of the.
Upgrade of this transmission line, which cuts through the north end of Danby and across 96B to the Cottington substation in the town of Ithaca. And
oh,
it would be worth, there are some towns that are, you know, having sort of informational sessions about this project. There's resources online in this application about what this transmission line upgrade looks like. It's towers going from 45 to 60 feet currently to over 100 feet tall. And so you know, they are increasing capacity of these transmission lines.
Yeah. It's basically upgrade, significant upgrade to increase our capacity to handle the.
So just
okay.
throwing this bit into the discussion that it might be worth to explore what could these extra transmission lines of the capacity that they're you know, increasing to could allow, or in the future, are these towers then able to just have additional transmission lines on? Truthfully, I don't know enough about the technology to answer any of that right now, but it seems relevant that it might be worth having a little bit more information to discuss.
I do recall, you know, many years ago when they were shutting down that coal plant, there was a lot of talk about how one of the ways to make up for shutting down that plant would be, rather than create a new plant, upgrade the lines so that electricity could basically be piped in from further away without the, you know, resistance loss. So I imagine that this is a part of that project, but I don't know. Is this related in some way to basically getting electricity here since we recently shut down our coal plant?
Yes, it is. It has to do with, you know.
I always thought that was a good solution. I mean, you
With the
know,
move to
gotta cut that
increase,
from
I mean, where, the local thrust has been to move to more and more electrification and to get off of natural gas and fossil fuels. The electricity's got to come from someplace. So, you know, this project, they're upgrading to that transmission line to get more power to us. Of course, if it ends up going to a data center instead, I mean, we're not making any progress.
Electric cars or something like that.
Yeah, electric cars, heat pumps, you know, all
Yeah.
those things are increasing the demand for.
Solar. The solar panel.
One of the things we need to verify is our own zoning, whether, where they're, if they're allowed and where they're allowed before we start working about what we cannot.
We mean the data center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to check our own zoning, so.
Well, yeah, I'd be interested in like the ancillary stuff too, like, you know, if we don't get a data center, but there's one nearby, is there like data center infrastructure that could like take up, you know, a huge chunk of Danby without, you know, because when these industries roll out like month to month, like it always happens so fast, you know, because they've got hundreds of billions of dollars to invest and they've got to get there before their competitor does.
That's
So,
right.
I mean, they work at a loss and they get everything in place before anybody has their town board meetings. you know, that's how fracking went, that's how everything goes.
And we scrambled to position ourselves to resist the fracking, but.
Right.
So the question is, do we need to do some of that in this instance, or does the fact that it's not provided for in our zoning mean that it can't happen, because that's the way zoning is structured? If it's not permitted use, it's not allowed.
Right.
But is that an adequate protection? Lansing's dealing with a situation where they had an area zoned industrial. So this is an industrial use, it's basically a permitted use, and now they're scrambling to say, but we wanted to change our zoning in light of revising our comprehensive plan. And now this is gonna come in because it's allowed already, before we've got to change the rules. We're not in that position, we don't have any industrial zones.
I don't want us to get in that position. And the PDZ, the idea of people coming in and asking for a PDZ.
They can always
could
do
it.
that.
Right, they can, but I think that, okay, I know that I'm probably more panicked about this for reasons that, or I like what Tyler just said is enough to remind me, and I've heard that before. This isn't something I think we should treat so lightly as to say, well, is our zoning good enough right now? I think the other thing, if we can find out how to get a really good broad presentation to the town also. I mean, I don't know how fast we can get somebody in here and have a, you know, so people learn.
It's a
what
good idea,
could be,
yeah.
we could be facing.
Well, I think it's worth asking, is what we have adequate, and if not, what ought we to do in order to
I
protect
have no
ourselves?
problem with that, but I don't want to stop there.
We're not, then
Well-
it comes back to us, then we have to decide what to do. That's the first step.
No,
Being
no,
in place now.
no, I'm sorry, but it isn't the first step for me.
What's the first step?
The first step is dual. One, go ahead and ask Guy that question. Second, learn what we don't
Yeah,
know,
we
because
don't
we
know.
clearly don't
Guy
know what we're
will know.
talking about. I mean, not only that, we've already had NICEAG raise, they said what, they were raising our prices 68% over X number of years.
62%.
And then, and if our electricity, if the electricity is that's right.
Right, no,
Goes up.
great.
We can't all talk. I thought I was talking, sorry.
I
I'll stop
just
for
meant to
Mariah.
interrupt you. I wasn't trying to interrupt.
I know you weren't, but I'm just trying to think about poor Mariah, trying to hear us.
Right.
I'll stop so somebody else can speak.
Well, the Public Service Commission had a hearing here in Ithaca, a couple of weeks ago, and
Marnie, come to the table.
Right, whether just closing this, not quite.
all of the,
Start over with the public. hearing.
yeah, the Public Service Commission held a public, open meeting here in Ithaca about 2 weeks ago. And I and Scott Davis went. And what was fascinating is how all of these issues are interwoven. The letter that I got about this electrical change is very confusing. And I don't know if it's about stuff that was testified to at the public hearing, that the electrical company was required to make upgrades 3 years ago and hadn't done any of it, and whether this is now a papering over so that indeed the electricity can be provided to these data centers whereas you and I might be paying 14 cents for a kilowatt hour, these data centers are paying 2 cents an hour, kilowatt hour, and getting preferential electricity, so that we as homeowners will all be potentially suffering from brownouts because the total grid is not in a position to deliver this, because NICEAG and in our area in particular has never complied with the orders to do the upgrade that's needed to bring that electrical system to us. And that some of this stuff may in fact just be window dressing to provide more electricity at a very reduced cost to these data centers, which then increases the cost to us because we have to buy it from further and further and further away, like Canada.
Right.
So,
Downer.
so,
What a downer.
I know. But it's important to kind of understand the network of concerns that Catherine's referring to, the families within our community. And perhaps, your area of jurisdiction is the zoning aspect, but it really is a web And it's very important. I can say our elected representatives, including, Congressman Riley, gave very powerful speeches at that hearing that the consumers, the homeowners are really getting it on the chin for, drinking the Kool-Aid to move towards electricity.
I move to give ourselves
Oh.
15 more minutes,
All right, second.
all right?
Connors,
Yes.
Yes.
Hunter, Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes,
Canyon.
Yes.
So do we think that Guy is the right person to ask about this, or?
The zoning.
Well, we're asking Guy about something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to be part of the research and presentation. The training that I went to last week for 3 days was not about data centers, but they were touched on a little bit, and I can talk about that, but it's about battery energy storage systems, large scale renewable and wind farms. The one thing I'll say about data centers is right now they're not considered a public utility, not yet at least. So they're still held to a higher level of scrutiny by local governments in New York, whereas solar and wind are considered public utilities. So there's a lower threshold of, there's a lot of, there's towns are just held or have to abide more by state, there's more preemption that, but I don't know enough about data centers and what they have. All I know is they need to be near,
Sources of power.
sources of power, transmission lines as well, substations. Same with battery energy storage systems. So the closest ones, closest transmission, not transmit, substation seems to be the Coddington one in Caroline, or sorry, town of Ithaca. But it deserves a little bit more research and presentation, because as I said, I'm just not.
One thing I would say about them is that what the business model is they find a piece of land that's usually farmland that is just a unassuming piece of land, and then they invest like nuclear power plant money into it. They'll put like $7 billion into like making a facility and just rise it from the earth in like 3 months, like out of nowhere. So I mean, that's one element of the equation.
I mean, just a brief review of the zoning is that, something like a data center wouldn't be allowed. I mean, the town has commercial zone districts. There's something that's close to the type of use of a data center is light industrial. And I mean, that is capped at 2 acres. And there's a whole litany of, scrutiny that would have to go through with it. But everywhere else in Danby, is going to allow things of like solar energy facilities. Battery energy storage systems are typically tied to solar energy, but they're now becoming more standalone. And I think there's more information that's warranted, not just in the next 12 minutes, but to put a little bit more kind of research and thought into this, and even just reaching out to other area planners to see how they might be approaching this, especially Lansing. And I'd be happy to talk about that. Probably not by next meeting, but.
So is that the next move, basically, is to have Greg check it out?
How is Danby?
our risks.
How is Danby prepared for? I mean,
right.
But what is it specifically? Is it data centers? Is it Danby already allows large scale energy systems, solar energy, which can include battery energy storage systems?
Yeah, the only concern is the noise.
Right.
Yeah,
There's 2 issues.
it does seem like our community is more likely to be exploited by renewable energy infrastructure than a data center, like in Danby.
Right.
As like the greater Ithaca area, I think we totally have to worry about data centers too, obviously.
Right, we don't have public water that they can tap into.
Right, but I mean, yeah, we should definitely be thinking about the rest of this list. I know we got like real sucked into like the big scary one. I mean, like, the world is changing. I don't know, like everybody sees like AI and data centers are becoming the new normal, and the numbers of like their cost and their consumption is like hard to wrap your head around. So that's why I think that like sucks everyone's imagination in. You know, it's like a black hole when it's like one of the words in the sentence of like data center. But there was a lot of other stuff in here, like with batteries and wind and solar and there's noise, and then they also take up a lot of space. And you know, so we'd want to talk about that, especially since, you know, when I think about like solar installations, like the one that's right back here, you know, these big swaths of land, you know, somebody has turned it into a profit maker. I guess that's fine in, you know, if they're not bothering anybody, but like, could Danby be the type of place where we could help distribute renewable to the thousands of properties that are in Danby instead of having like one person at a time clear cutting an area, covering it in panels? Now there's a loud hum. One guy makes all the money. That electricity just goes in the lines. But everybody needs these panels. And I mean, like, I don't know, in France, you're not allowed, in Paris, you're not allowed to build new construction without putting solar panels on the roof because they want solar panels on all the roofs, you know? And not that we should like burden people with new construction, but could we have any kind of policies that push away from just like one or two people setting up like 90 acres of solar and profiting off that as like their business versus having a community where we're all like distributing energy production. Like I produce all my energy at my house and it's great. For 10 years now, I haven't been paying NICEAG. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Well, I mean, we have.
And it would be great if other people.
Yeah, community choice aggregation is something that we've been trying to get in place now for some time. And the effort is being spearheaded by the city and town of Ithaca. And the process is at well, it's just been creeping because the state has been slow to put in place. Well, they basically state calls into question whether or not the already existing programs where they exist are cost effective or not. So it's hard to set up a new one, but the potential was driven by the desire to have clean energy provided as inexpensively as possible to the residents of the town. But on the piggybacking on that, in a sense, is that the mechanism could also be used to finance distributed energy generation, where people could add solar to their facility, to their house or whatever, and pay for them in the reduction in their utility bills. I mean, utility bills would basically stay the same, but they'd be paying off their it would be a way of lending them money to put panels on their houses, paying for it in reduction in the cost of their utility. So I mean, there's a lot of potential,
Yeah.
but we haven't got past.
See some of that.
Can we
got past
ask
square one.
with Greg? look
But
into
the data
this?
center thing,
There may be somebody else, maybe there's somebody who we could invite to come talk, you know, to have a little session before a town board meeting or
Yeah.
something, and invite, you know, residents to come.
yeah, we
To
could.
get
If
some,
we
we've
can
got that
identify
in the
who-
past.
Who?
So I don't know,
Just turn to the
maybe-
camera and
maybe
there
Greg
would be
knows
lots of people
somebody,
there.
maybe there's. Maybe Greg knows somebody. You
Yeah.
know, that, you know.
Yeah, well,
at
this
a
could be
training
part,
or
this could be
something.
part of his research is, you know,
Yeah,
as Catherine suggested, educating ourselves.
Yeah,
Right.
right,
And
because we don't know enough
We have-
about it.
two more things to talk about too. So
Yeah.
can we,
Yes, we do.
instead of our discussing it, what we're looking at is, sounds like information, please almanac about a bunch of stuff right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And maybe anybody who's interested to help research it and pass along anything to us or Greg or whatever, so he's not burdened with everything, but
Well, but what I heard though, from what's been said here is that we're not going to ask Guy, we're going to let Greg do some research first and go from there.
First, yeah.
is that right? Okay, all right, that's okay with me.
Okay,
May I ask that you bear in mind the Avangrid wind farm project?
yeah, Avant-Grid what?
Wind farm project.
Yes, that was in my back of my mind when I put wind on this list.
It's on
Yeah,
the list.
I would like to talk about those eventually at some point too, about the renewable energy infrastructure, because, you know, I don't want to see hillsides deforested to put solar panels on them, because you know, I mean, I want to see a world that does clean energy, but that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we,
mean, that's
I-
the way it's done because of how our society is set up, but we could do better than that.
What Ted's alluding to though is the possibility of, we have the
A
second,
large farm.
second largest, the second most promising location in the county for locating a wind farm along the wall, along the west wall of Inland Valley. And that's evidently being explored by Avant-Grid. And so the question is, you know, they when mills generate low frequency that travels pretty good. So you know, it's something that we might want to check out and see whether we've got, you know, adequate.
Isn't that whole area like a UNA?
No,
It's not?
no, but it is,
Jersey Hill.
yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Farther down, okay.
anyway, we might want to make sure that we are adequately protecting the residents from
Right.
noise pollution.
Right,
Right.
And-
okay. It's a big bundle,
Mhm.
all right.
So we're gonna talk about all this in 2 weeks, maybe?
He said he
No,
can't get it in 2
no.
weeks.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, yes, no, particularly.
We'll talk about this later.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
We could dig up information and
Yeah.
maybe get somebody to come talk to us.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be nice if there are people who are here or listening, want to join together and form a little informational group and help us prepare or learn. I would be happy to, like, if we need somebody to coordinate it, tell me and we'll hook those people together or whatever, or just. Cause there's a lot of people with information in Danby,
Yeah, true.
so moving on.
Okay.
Right,
Where are we now?
It's not,
we're at the code of ethics revision.
yeah,
Did I read that right? Our last code of ethics is from the 70s?
well,
Yep. Ethics
well, it's, I mean,
hasn't
it's,
changed much.
Is this the same as what was done? Is there changes in
No.
it?
Okay, so
No.
Maria can speak to this because I asked her to do a little compare between what's in 79. Well, you can speak right why this is even coming up. Evidently, the state has a suggested updated thing, but
oh,
'cause that's.
Yeah.
Yes, the state has suggested that we update it. They have set, in the document that's linked to the meeting agenda, there are a couple, links. I have put a document in the meeting agenda that is one of those links with the town of Danby written all over it, you know, instead of put your municipality here, I put town of Danby. I didn't make any other updates or changes. You know, I would encourage you to read both those documents. The new one, it has much more information than the one from 1979. And it's a model code of ethics. I think I would suggest reading it and we can revisit it in another month or two. This is from general code. This isn't from the state. General code looked at this and said, oh, 1979, huh? You might want to consider this model code of ethics. I've updated it with town of Danby information, and I think we should take a look at it before February, when all the questions that general code has asked us are due.
it might be good to also, I mean, we spent months going over. I wasn't able, I didn't have time to go back and look in my notes, but in 2019, we spent, you know, I have draft number 7 here. So we spent a lot of time revising that old thing, and we have actually been sort of assuming that this had been passed. I don't know.
You couldn't find record that we actually did.
I couldn't,
Yeah.
but I didn't have time to go through my notes, so,
Mhm.
that maybe people could also look at that.
That would
And,
be good, yes.
and it was actually, I mean, it says it was adopted in 2007, so I mean, whether there's just a problem with the records, I mean, obviously it needs to get fixed.
Well, of course, if we adopted a new one, it would,
Hmm?
it'd be moot if we did adopted a new.
But what we should do is be able to look at the
I
97,
just-
this one and the recommendation, and look at all three of those.
You know, this,
I'm not
this
ready to
obviously
do anything on this.
followed up.
No, I'm not either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's on,
I assume this
say,
one-
should we be looking to do this? And then if so, you know, when and how? Not because general code said, you know, your thing is way old and there's a template for doing it now, so. you know, That's one of the things that came out of their review of our.
Yeah, I mean, we've been reaffirming this one.
Forever
Every-
and ever.
every
Can
Jan-
can you send me that, Leslie?
Yeah, it's in there, it's somewhere,
Okay.
it's, I mean,
Well, general
Um,
code didn't find it,
is it in the employee handbook?
Well, it is an employee handbook,
Supposed to be,
yeah.
but anyway, yeah, I'll send it to you.
okay.
But I'll also look through, I don't know what happened. I think there were some difficulties during that year. Whether it was record keeping or just people having trouble
79,
agreeing on something.
2009, no, 2007. but
2000.
Well, it was 2007, no, I'm talking about, well, in 2019.
It's
It
something
was
called
2019.
COVID came
It
along.
was right before, I think there was some missing minutes and stuff, so.
2019.
Well, wasn't that right before? That was right at the change of clerks.
Yeah, but
So, anyway.
19 would have been,
Let's just look
Yeah.
at it.
anyway, whatever.
Find it, right?
Okay.
So,
I'll do some more searching and,
yes, so what is your, here we are past the,
well,
5 minutes.
as you know, I wouldn't just assume we.
5
have
minutes.
Hard stuff. but,
yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Yeah,
you do South Hill Cider and Snap, South Hill Cider and Snap.
5 minutes.
All night.
Okay.
10 minutes, about 10, and we'll try and do it in less.
I could stay for another hour. I
No,
don't
no,
mind.
not doing it.
Till 8:30 is what's moved, right? Let's say,
What is the,
but to extend the meeting till 8:30.
to 8:30, okay, all
Second,
right,
for-
ready?
Yeah.
was it second?
Connor?
No, I'm not ready.
Gotcha,
Yes, yes.
Did you get a second on the motion?
no,
Didn't somebody?
No, I'm asking.
Second,
Okay, now we have a second. Now we can vote on it.
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes,
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
yes,
Kenyon,
Yes,
thank you.
all right. So what was the upshot on code of ethics?
we need to get
Oh,
more.
bring it back
information to
next.
compare.
Okay,
People look at the
look at
various things and.
all three of them or,
Yeah, all three.
okay,
I'll put them in a folder.
okay. And when it'll come up after a while.
Right.
Okay. South Hill Cider.
okay.
You were concerned, as I understand it, that we haven't taken additional action in light of the fact that Steve has yet to ask for the review from Ag and Markets that he indicated he was going to do.
That is one of my concerns, and the other of my concerns is that we basically have not responded to the first complaints about whether or not what is legal. And what I guess my biggest concern is, I don't want us to say that we can negotiate, mitigate, or mediate until we know what is permitted on that property, on all of the property involved. And then, and I also am interested in if we have the option of asking for tax returns for us to be able to see,
If he's meeting the requirements.
right.
Well, it's not quite right, but Greg can speak to this and I'd like you to.
Yeah, but there are, in order to get at the, in order to understand a little bit about whether South Hill Cider might be in compliance of being a farm operation.
Yeah.
There are two conditions that need to be met for farm wineries. Well, there might be others, but I should say the two conditions that we've been honing in on, that the town is within its right to ask for information, is the predominant standard, meaning that they're selling at least 51%, or they are producing at least 51% of the products that they are selling. It's meaning that they could be purchasing 49% of their products that they're selling elsewhere. On that though, there is a ramp up period for cideries. I don't know what it is actually on the moment, but
It's a separate ramp up for cideries
there's
versus
basically
any other farm.
there's
operation.
basically
Oh, sorry.
there's a grace period, understanding that apples are going to take a few years to actually.
Plant the trees, it's a while before the trees come into production, meaningful production.
Yeah.
So there's a ramp up period during which time you can buy more
Yeah.
than you're producing,
And
basically.
I want to say, I'll
Or gleaning.
confirm this, it might be as much as 7 years. So there's that standard, which is the predominant standard. And then the other one is that income could be generated up to 30% of income could come from on-farm marketing activities, so events. So the town can ask to see that those conditions are met. And we've twice now, I've asked Steve to just voluntarily just provide us that data. I think a little bit of trickiness in this is that what does it look like? And likely the town might need to hire an outside party to review that information. I don't know if I could go through a business's tax returns or files and numbers and tell you confidently that he's meeting these standards. I don't know.
Is that
It
what
should be.
Ag and Markets is supposed to do?
It's a good question. They would, but I don't know if they would do it for the town, but they would do it for a farm operator. I'm not quite sure.
I mean, Ag and Markets is
Because
primarily focused
they're
on
for the farmers.
supporting the
Right.
farmer. So they generally do it in response to somebody being cited for violating some, rule. And then they come, if the farmer asks them to, they'll come to their defense and review their operation and say, you comply or you don't comply. And they don't usually do that unless somebody's cited. When Leslie and I spoke with Steve, he agreed to have them review the operation voluntarily, without us having to cite him for anything. But he hasn't done it yet.
Right.
No.
Long time. Long time,
Well, it's been a couple of months.
long time.
A long time,
Yeah.
right?
How long?
Since
How long is a long
Several
time?
months.
7 months?
Several.
Oh, several.
Yeah.
when
So-
we sat here as the
It's
town,
easy to request.
we sat here as the town and said, yes, we should ask him to do that. And there was a discussion, and Tyler, I'm pretty sure you also said, and it should be quickly. And it should be done, and it hasn't.
The sooner we
You know, we
have
talked-
the information, I mean, it seems like, I guess I was thinking we can't do anything without that information, but suppose we could try to get that information without Ag and Markets. Not sure
Right, so
what that looks like.
Ag and Markets states pretty clearly that municipalities can compel the farmer to get that information. So the question now is when we talked to Steve about this, Joel and I, a couple weeks ago now, there's a lot of financials that goes into an operation like this in terms of ticket sales and things that they're producing. So there was a little bit of, it might take some time to get this. I think ultimately though, for us is just that given, maybe given a deadline, providing a deadline of when we need it by, but then also providing just having a mechanism of what happens if that information is not, do we then jump to just saying you're out of compliance with zoning because you haven't, proven that you're meeting these conditions? And that's where Joel and I were discussing today about just what is the ultimatum there, that looks
I
like.
mean, it basically, the indication is that we can compel, provide us information. Well, what does compel look like? Operationally, how does one go about compelling him to give us that information if he doesn't
Wait, I thought,
voluntarily do it?
I heard the compel be a different thing than what you just said. I think the compel is go back to what the original agreement that he had when he opened the cidery. And I mean, it's been open for
4 or 5 years.
I guess he said, I mean, he said himself that I've been doing this music venue for 5 years. He said it in the meeting. And it's not a music venue. We're not supposed to have a music venue. That's not in zoning. So the compel would be go to what we are allowed to. Once you show that you are doing the legal things, then that's when you decide whether or not the community or the town board or the planning board or any of the people want to, then there's a request from the owner. I would like to be able to expand what I'm doing from what I was allowed to do and start. That you can't, the problem that I have is precedent setting for anywhere in Danby for anything, that if we don't require that a person do what they said they're gonna do, then we open ourselves up to other people saying, well, I can start something and not start to ramp it up as I go and nothing happens. So go back to what he's allowed to do. And then, and also if we have the tax returns and maybe get an accountant to look it over or something like that, find out. Then after we know, then that's the time when he can apply
Why
for
are we
additional
assuming
work.
that he's doing something he's not allowed to do?
Because we're not zoned for a music venue, one.
It's not zoned that way. We already know that.
Well, I think just to be clear though, that's what the issue is though.
It's ag and market.
We're begging a
overall.
question. We're assuming one answer.
So.
But we don't know that. And that's what the information we want. To follow those guidelines, he just gave with it. So much a percentage has to be this, we don't know that.
Well,
He hasn't provided that
If we were to
information.
get that information and find that like it's our opinion that he's out of compliance, I imagine that would immediately trigger him to reach out to Ag and Markets. Because then he would have the incentive to do that. Well, I'm saying he would have the incentive to do that if we were to say like, you're not in compliance. He would say, well, now I want to reach out to Ag and Markets because like they're gonna put on their cape and.
Right.
Well,
But I mean, he could ask them to do it voluntarily. That's what we.
And he
we've tried
didn't,
to
so
do.
that
He hasn't-
part's gone.
He hasn't yet done it.
That part's gone. Now we need to do it. Now we need to say that it has to be done.
Just to be clear, we're having this information would help our understanding of, are you meeting the definition of
Yes,
agriculture?
correct.
Because it might come back and the numbers might all line up.
Correct.
And we will just accept it.
Yeah.
And then we consider ourselves what we want to do over the other parts of Danby because we're still, we still want to make sure that we're not all of a sudden going to have a lot of venues. I mean, I don't know what would be next, but it is something to think about.
Well, I mean,
I think
as a
what I'm
result
curious
of the review, if assuming that he gives us the information that we request, and so we can determine whether or not he satisfies these two ways of looking at his business. And if the answer is yes, then what he's doing could be legitimately regarded as agriculture. And yes, that could happen anywhere in Danby.
Right.
But that's, but nothing would change that. I mean, the ag market governs, what agricultural activity is, and we are not, we're not, it trumps zoning, basically.
I get it. I guess I think the thing that concerns me is there's a couple of things. One, the idea that people think that the town board doesn't want people to have fun is ridiculous. We need to be able to provide a way for people to have fun that is respectful in the town. That's one. I mean, and I don't think it's. And then for me, the precedent setting, no matter what we're doing, that's one of the reasons I'm worried about this noise in the data centers and all these other things. What has happened is public image has made it look like we're trying to drop a big hammer on everybody doing anything, including special events. And that's not fair. What we are doing is being aware of other people in the town who are less able or willing or to speak up. So anyway, I've said my piece and I don't want us to go over the time, which we
We
are.
already did.
So if we could just keep this in mind and.
I think the other thing is, these people come and apply, including what's his name there, the clown. And, he said that there's certain things he was going to do and he got approval based on those things,
That's
and that is
right.
not what he is doing.
Yep.
And that has happened other places.
You've gotta be more
David-
specific.
David Hall did the same thing, and not David Hall, the previous clowns. They put up this house and guaranteed, I was at the meeting, they guaranteed over and over and over again, it was not a house. It was a design studio, it was not a house. Within less than a year, 2 people were running that house. They said this, we gave approval on those grounds. They don't follow those grounds. There is no follow-up.
Right, that's basically what I'm saying too. And there is some, what Pat's saying, just because you don't know it right now tonight, doesn't mean, that's okay. You can.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, we need to be more specific, like, there's, like you said, like, I don't know what we're talking about when we're saying, like, he was originally permitted for one thing, but now he's doing something else.
You don't
But
know what those
no
are.
one is saying specifically what their intention is that is
It was
happening
said,
that isn't
yeah,
permitted.
it was said in meetings, when in the beginning of the citery, but we are over time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we're not done with this discussion, but I'm
No.
glad to have brought it up.
Yeah, so I mean, it's your will that we end the discussion and end the meeting, or do we want more time?
Can we remember to talk about?
I keep
Marketing.
wanting to,
Yes.
wanting to, I know I've read through all the stuff, the easement, the
We're
ag and market
we're
stuff.
continuing to talk about, do we want to make?
I just want to say, I think we need to also look at, what do we want? What do we want? What do people want?
Sounds
Less
like
noise?
say the
Is that
way
it?
that
I mean,
is.
I don't want to lose sight of
Well, everybody
what
else.
the problem is.
It's not that I don't give a shit.
I mean,
Hey, like, let's keep the temperature down. I don't know. It's not that I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't know.
You do.
Nasty looks all you want. Okay, that's fine. All right, you guys finish up. I'm gonna break off.
Wait, snap.
it's
Snap.
nice.
Well, no, we're not,
We have to decide about what we're doing. What about snap discussion?
Oh, we
well, I think we could.
I need to get more information.
We could defer that.
yeah.
We need to get information about what's available.
I gather Tyler doesn't want to keep talking about it because he's left.
Well, Pat was making faces at him.
Pat makes faces.
Yeah, no kidding.
She makes faces even when she's making a statement. I know sometimes they scary me too.
So we come back to this, or do you want to
Yeah.
keep talking about it?
No, I'm okay with coming back to it. Well, unless Leslie,
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to keep talking, but if you want to end the meeting, we'll end the meeting.
I kind of willing to end the meeting.
Getting late.
Okay, well then, meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Greg, there's some checks there for you too.
Yes, which I've yet to sign, but
check, is
Thanks,
Fred the
Laura.
only one getting checks? I mean, what about the rest of us?
I'm sorry.
Not this
I'm
time.
sorry. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Oh, here.
I need to get